Tokyo Ghoul Re, baby, that's it. Tokyo Ghoul Re right now is number one. Oh my, that chapter though. Our boy is back. Our boy Ken fucking Kaneki is seemingly back. And I'm hype. So a few different things happen within this chapter. For starters, the beginning of the chapter, we have that special class investigator that's pretty much absolutely salivating for a body. And the thing about it is that he's seen Eto, well, what he thought was, the one-eyed. He's like, oh, was that what I thought it was? Flying by and shit like that. So you would think he would immediately say, everybody go over there or whatever. So that's either gonna happen or he's gonna just be like, no, fuck it, let's get a death here, let Hai Sasaki die or whatever. So that could potentially happen right there. It's either he's gonna do his fucking job, which a lot of these motherfuckers are crooked, so you never know, or he's gonna ultimately just say, whatever, let him die. So right now that could be set up for the whole cavalry to show up and help everyone out up there on the roof, or yeah, he's just gonna let a massacre happen. The line that Eto said to Sasaki when she was like, you love taking the hit. Arima would have dodged that, but you love taking the hit. It was so symbolic, and at the same time, it was kind of realistic in a way, because first of all, the way she was saying that is almost as if she knows that he could have dodged it. Like, that's kind of saying in a way, yeah, you're kind of on Arima's level to a certain degree, that you probably would have been able to dodge that, but you took the hit anyway. And at the same time, it's symbolic of the revelation we had in this chapter, that Ken Kaneki was fucked up and traumatized from the very beginning of the story. Not many stories will give you an explanation this far in to why a character is so timid and why a character was like that. Like, in the beginning of the series, Ken Kaneki, very timid, very shy, didn't want anything from anybody, and now it's all explained, everything. Like, Sui Ishida, amazing writer. Like, shit like that's amazing to find that out. Granted, it could have been that was, put in later or shoehorned in later, but ultimately it just wraps up very, very nicely and explains Ken Kaneki's character at the very beginning, that he was ultimately fucked up in the head. Because you think about it, in the past, when he had flashbacks of his mother, he just remembered how much he loved her and how much of a good woman she was, how much of a good worker she gave to everybody. She paid all of her sister's bills, and we never got that because he mentally had to block that out, and that showcases his character as this one fucked up being even before. So when he said, if you wrote a story about me, it would certainly be a tragedy, he wasn't only talking about what we were about to see in Tokyo Ghoul and Tokyo Ghoul Re, he was talking about even before all this shit happened. Damn. And something is afoot with Furuta. The fact that she made sure everyone was down, I'm like, is that part of the clowns? What's going on there? Definitely a setup for something. Maybe there's going to be some sort of rebellion or invasion in the CCG later on, but the fact that we're now knowing that there's a traitor in there, it makes you curious. Are there any more traitors in there? Is this the only one? Where does Furuta come from? A lot of questions there, but I mean, the motherfucker pretty much took out everyone around, so yeah, made sure there was no witnesses, which means that there's probably bigger plans than what just ultimately happened. Who knows, maybe Kijima was a part of this, maybe Furuta's with the V organization, and then see Noro getting ready to eat Shirazu. Noro, oh my gosh, I don't think they're going to be able to take out Noro. I just don't see it. I think at some given point, maybe they're going to have to all completely ambush the motherfucker, and even then, because again, Noro isn't seemingly a living being. Maybe Kane is somewhat like Noro, but Kane still is, I guess, conscious of herself. I was going to say himself, herself, but ultimately Noro just doesn't seem like there's anything in there. Noro seems like completely dead. So either Noro's been through years upon years of torture, and that's why Noro just has nothing up there anymore, or Noro's completely dead. So how the fuck are you going to take out a dead body? But being realistic, I just don't see Shirazu dying. Like, it's too early. I mean, granted, I don't like his design, so fuck that shit. But ultimately, I don't see Shirazu dying at Noro's hands or anything. So that little cliffhanger there with Noro seemingly about to chomp on, it's not happening. And that line, I ain't gonna lie, I almost had to hold back tears. I'm being 100% dead ass honest with you guys when he said I really was beat a lot by the people I love the most. That shit. Ken Kaneki, the reason why I think we can, I guess, relate to a certain degree and feel like we are on the same page as him, opposed to, like, don't get me wrong, Guts is the most tragic person in all of manga history or whatever, but the difference is he's not as relatable because of the setting, the period, and he just went through some really dark and fucked up shit that, like, no one could comprehend. With Kaneki, he is kind of like you and I to a certain degree. He's a big reader. Hello, we're reading right now. And ultimately, just some of his personality is similar to what I can personally, as a fan of the series and whatnot, I guess, relate to in a way. So I think that's why Ken Kaneki, when we read these things, especially me personally, because it's a rarity that I get teary-eyed at a manga or whatever. But when I read that shit and you see his mother beating him as a kid and why he was never, like, outgoing and taking everything, and he even said at some given point, I'd rather be the person being hurt than hurt others or let anyone else get hurt. it shows his entire character is explained, because even as a child, before the tragedy, there was tragedy. And I'm curious, is there another awakened side of Ken Kaneki now that we are unaware of? Maybe this person that he is about to become is neither Ken Kaneki nor Sasuke Highs, or maybe that's the true him all along before all the tragedy and everything, when he said, somewhere along the way, I selfishly started to desire again. And he said something that, at the end of the day, looking at Ken Kaneki's character, Sasuke Heist, for example, okay, Sasuke Heist, he is like, whatever, he's just confused, he kind of wants to help people, and he's just like more of a normal person. Ken Kaneki would have been fine with dying in a fucking ditch and nobody knowing nothing, as long as he didn't bother anybody. Ken would have been cool with it, like, alright, I'll die in a ditch as long as I'm not bothering anybody. Okay, that's what has to happen, I guess, if it's, you know, whatever. What he said in this chapter in regards to, I want to die in style, whether it's good or bad or whatever, but I want to die in style. That is not the Ken Kaneki we knew. That is certainly not Sasuke Heist. So who the fuck is that? Is that the real him ultimately speaking out? Or is this a whole different manifestation prior to the trauma that we never really got to see that is coming out now? And then that good night at the end, seemingly Sasuke Heist is going to go bye-bye for a while now. He didn't completely kill him off, so there's a very high probability at some given point Sasuke will come out. And again, I just see it. I see Ken Kaneki doing something crazy. The squad is there. Shirazu and all of them, and then maybe at some given point Sasuke might come to for a little bit, but ultimately he's not going to be gone for good. And honestly, this chapter gave me goosebumps. I had to hold back tears at time finding out more of the fucked up shit that Ken Kaneki had to go through, and it was simply amazing. It was simply fucking amazing. Beautiful writing, beautiful foreshadowing, the subtleties, the art, everything about this chapter. 10 out of 10, beautiful masterpiece. Fucking loved it. Well, let me know what you guys think. First of all, the awakened being that he is now, so to speak, is that Ken Kaneki? Is that a new being entirely? It's not Sasuke Heist anymore. So who is this? Why would he say I want to die in style when Ken Kaneki, that's never been his stilo? Or is it that he's finally gotten over the tragedy of what his mom did to him and he realized he has to move past that? Who is this being? I really hope it's our boy Ken Kaneki with a little bit more of a enlightened mind state at this point. And how the fuck Noro's going to be able to put down? How the hell is Ken going to be able to take out? I mean, can Ken really take out Eto, Kane, and Shu all at once? Like, what the fuck? I think at this point it's safe to say though that Shu is going to get away with Eto and Kane. I think that that's what's going to happen, and it's going to be weird because would Tsukiyama really join Aogiri? Like, that's where I see it happening though, that's how he's going to get free. And it's like, this was a godlike chapter, honestly. Again, it really hit me so fucking hard, and I felt to a certain degree like it was relatable to just see the tragedy that Ken Kaneki constantly has to go through. I fucking love it, and that's why he's one of my all-time favorite anime characters, manga characters, whatever. But that's a lot for this reaction slash review. Just I'm fucking happy. I'm happy our boy is back, and at the same time I'm sad because yet again a piece of his history of what fucking happened to him, like his mom, his aunt, everyone in life. Like, that's why somebody like Hide, even though he wasn't the most greatest person in the world, I mean, he was a decent friend or whatever, but that's why he clung on to him so much, because it was like, somebody's nice to me, somebody's not treating me like dirt. Yes. And your overall thoughts of the chapter? Honestly, probably the best chapter Tokyo Ghoul read thus far. Finally our boy is back, and Ken Kaneki, you poor motherfucker. Like, somebody give him a hug, please. So that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, if you could do so as well, that'd be amazing. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. Our boy Ken Kaneki is back, baby. Yeah!